Live from Lowell Park, we welcome you into the broadcast booth for the Cotuit Kettleers pregame show. Today's matchup between the host, Cotuit Kettleers, and the visiting Hyannis Harbor Hawks in Game 1 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. The annual matchup between the two Barnstable-based teams in the Cape League. Always a fun time when these two teams meet up. I'm Chris Albright, joined alongside Connor Shue, and we are thrilled to be bringing you some Cape League baseball today on a beautiful Saturday here on Cape Cod. Connor, first things first, addressing, I guess you could call it the elephant in the room. Cotuit coming into this one 1-5. They are riding a 4-game losing streak. What needs to change?
Well, they lost 5-0 last night, and it was another Cotuit game without a single extra base hit. They only have one all season. That was a double in the opener against Orleans off the bat of Camden Johnson. And ever since, they've just had a trouble of lifting the ball and getting base hits out of it. It's been a whole lot of ground outs, and most of their action has been singles through the gaps. And you're not really going to have the most success with that. As many singles as you can hit is not going to be enough. They were 4 for 28 last night. All singles, again, only 2 walks, 12 strikeouts. It seems like guys are getting impatient at the plate a little bit and want to get those hits going and want to get their power strokes going, but it seems like it's just not coming. And we have seen a lot of loud outs and some good swings put on these baseballs. So you think with that and the talent this team possesses, it can turn around. But again, there's been a lot of contact straight into the dirt that's resulted in a lot of outs.
And then you look at the visiting Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and it's almost the exact opposite problem for Hyannis. They come into this one as a team leading the Cape League in batting average, leading in on-base percentage, first in average hits per game, draw the most walks per game. So it's almost a tale of two totally different offenses. You look at Hyannis, 3 guys in the starting lineup with multiple home runs. I mean, how important is it to get out to that early lead like Hyannis seemingly does? I mean, they're first in the West Division right now.
It's very important, and granted, last night it didn't work out so well for them. 3-0 lead in the first and eventually lost 12-6 to the Wareham Gatemen, but they still plated 6 runs, and they were able to get the offense going. 14 base hits. Chris Rembert almost hit for the cycle. He was only a triple away from that. But you see the way that offense hums. Those guys are hitting the ball in the air. They're getting a lot of good results out of it, and they're one of the hardest hitting teams in the Cape, one of the best slugging percentages, 3 homers, 9 doubles as a team. So they just do a good job at hitting the gaps and keeping that ball out of the infield, for lack of a better phrase. But they've just been hitting it really well and got a lot of talented bats, and they have really showed out.
Now switching gears over to pitching, this has been the bright spot for the Kettleers all season long. I mean, we can talk on it all game long, the bullpen success, but if you look at pitching as a whole for the Kettleers, middle of the pack in pretty much everything, team-wide 3.69 ERA, 1.29 walks and hits per inning pitched. So the guys on the bump are getting the job done. It's just a couple innings here and there where teams are able to score 2, 4, 5 runs that have really blown these games open.
We saw it on Thursday when we were in Chatham. Tyler Albanese got the ball late, and unfortunately for him, couldn't get the job done, walked in a run, and really struggled, especially in the 8th inning. And we've seen a couple more blow-ups, like especially with the rotation. A couple of days ago, we had the starter James Hayes back on Tuesday, kind of scuffle. 6 earned runs allowed in 1 2/3. That outing was really a struggle for him, and it seems like they just need to get off to better starts. It seems like it's been very hit or miss in that department. We've seen guys go out there and pitch well. Cole Carlone, in his 2 2-inning starts, he's thrown really well. Kenton Deverman has looked good, and those two are some stabilizing forces in this rotation, but got to work out the kinks. These are all talented arms, so baseball's a game of runs as well, so you just have to assume things are going to turn around for the better, which we've been saying so much over this first week or so of Kettleers baseball, so got hope over here.
You talk about talented arms. Getting the starting nod today for the Kettleers, Reed Mooring, who has just joined Cotuit. We saw him yesterday rocking the 36 jersey, and both of us looked at each other. Who is this guy? We haven't seen him around. Ask around, and then we find out Reed Mooring has made his way on Cape, hailing from Aptos, California, going into his senior year where he just wrapped up playing his season at UC Santa Barbara. What's the mascot?
Gauchos, of
there
course.
we go.
Come on.
Well, you know your California and mascots out there.
I try.
And he had an shortened season this past year, only made 7 appearances, but he was lights out in those 7 appearances. I mean, this guy can pitch and is looking to do so now healthy out here on Cape.
He is sub-3 ERA in that shortened season, 7 appearances, 5 starts for Mooring. He has good strikeout stuff and has been getting better every single season. Had his high inning total as a freshman over 50, and it's gone down ever since, but the numbers have gotten better. The rate stats have looked much better for Mooring as the years have gone on, so who's to say he's not going to just keep pitching better into the summer? 10.7 strikeouts per 9 was a career high at school this past spring in 17 2/3 innings. You can just see it's all coming together for him.
Now, I always love when colleges put little fun facts in their players' bios. They did it for Reed Mooring. They say he's majoring in communications. And my takeaway from that is after he's done pitching, he needs to come up here and join us in the booth to test out that communication major in person, I guess. And then looking at the Harbor Hawks, their starter today, Trey Beard. Boy, did he have a good first outing out on Cape. And you know what? Well, before we dive into that, this is actually a really cool moment. Andrew Wiggins, starting left fielder for Cotuit, is playing the national anthem. So we'll keep it here. He is playing it on the saxophone. So we will watch him do this and be amazed because, boy, can he play. He can play the instruments really well. Very talented musician. So take it away, Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins just killed that national anthem on the saxophone. Thank you, Andrew Wiggins, the very talented left fielder for the Kettleers. I mean, I could not do that. I mean, to be a high-level ball player and a high-level saxophone player, that is something special.
It's really huge, and we hear he can play a few more instruments as well, and I always think it's really cool when you see the instrumental rendition of the anthem, whether it be with a saxophone, a guitar, trumpet, whatever instrument that may be. I feel like that always comes out nicely, and Andrew Wiggins, he did a great job there with the sacks.
Yeah, 12 instruments, I think, is the total that he can play. 12, just incredible stuff. So then back to the pregame show as we're wrapping things up here before first pitch. The starting pitcher for Hyannis today, Trey Beard, who had a phenomenal first start, went 4 innings, struck out 6, walked none, no earned runs. He was putting up mammoth numbers at Florida Atlantic.
86 innings pitched, 118 strikeouts. Good for a 12.3 K per 9 rate at school. Pretty incredible for the right-hander heading over to Florida State. He might be the ace over there next spring with Jamie Arnold going to the draft. So he's a guy to really look out for there in the ACC, just with how well he did at school. And then with his really nice start against Harwich, 4 innings pitched, no runs, and 6 punchies. So he's a great arm, to put it lightly, and he's going to create some trouble for these Kettleers bats, I think.
In terms of Kettleers bats, let's take a quick look at the Cotuit Kettleers starting lineup. Well, they don't bat first, so I think we'll talk about Hyannis' lineup first, since the Harbor Hawks are coming up to bat first. Connor, how do the Harbor Hawks step up to the plate today?
Matt Miura, the center fielder, leads off. Jackson Willis, the designated hitter, is hitting second. Then it's Andrew Williamson playing right field, the left-handed stick batting third. Chris Rembert batting cleanup, was a triple away from the cycle last night. Miles Bailey hitting fifth. Ray Velasquez hitting sixth. Charlie Bates, the left fielder, hitting seventh. Vaughn Lackey, the catcher, batting eighth. And Jake Schaffner rounding things out in the 9-hole, playing shortstop.
That middle third of the Harbor Hawks lineup, just a big threat. I mean, 3 home runs between Williamson, Rembert, Bailey, all of whom have more than 3 RBIs. Bailey has 6, so a lot of hot bats for the Harbor Hawks. And as the Kettleers run out onto the infield and outfield, let's talk the Cotuit defense. How do they stack up today?
Camden Johnson's the hot corner at third base. Ryan Farber continues to move around the diamond. He's at shortstop. Jaron Advincula is playing second base. Case Sanderson at first. Luke Laffin, his first start as a Kettleer, playing catcher for Reed Mooring. The outfield left to right, Andrew Wiggins out there in left. Easton Winfield in center. And Nolan Stevens in right. And that might be a 1-2-3 punch out there that we see for a while this summer.
I mean, you talk about this Kettleers infield. You have guys that can play just about anywhere and everywhere. Farber, Johnson, and Advincula have all moved around, taken different spots. It's a bit of a new look infield for first-year skipper Lauren Hibbs. Advincula, a returning force for Cotuit, coming off of his season last year where he was the Cape League batting title holder. Hit just a couple clicks below 400 on the season, and he's been flashing good leather. This Cotuit infield hoping to keep things clean. A couple of errors have been costly in these games, so playing air-free baseball also big.
It certainly is. They need to really clean things up on the infield. A pair of errors yesterday, and they've had one in almost every single game, so making sure the defense is strong and stout is very important. And with a guy like Ryan Farber out there on the infield every day, I don't think that's too hard. We've seen his leadership on full display out here in every game, whether it's talking to Easton Winfield after his ground ball ended the game and giving him some words of encouragement, or making his own mound visits to these pitchers and giving them some kind words. It's very important, and his impact can't be understated past his bat.
Just a minute past 5 o'clock. Looking to get things rolling here. First pitch scheduled for 5 o'clock. And now with a throw down to second base, we're getting ready to get underway here at Lowell Park. Cotuit in the all-white uniforms with red thin pinstripes on the tops and bottoms. Red Cotuit across the chest. Maroon numerals as well with their maroon ball caps. The Harbor Hawks, road gray pants, an orange jersey with white numerals on the back. White lettering across the front. Mooring is ready on the mound. The righty delivers a first pitch bouncing ball towards short, bobbled, thrown in time for out number 1. Matthew Miura retired on the 6-4 putout. That brings up Jackson Willits. Switch hitter. He's batting from the left side of the plate today. Not a whole lot of reps here on Cape yet. 4 for 6 coming into this game. Looping breaking ball in there for strike one.
I like that curveball as an out pitch for Mooring. I feel like we can see a lot of that on 2 strikes later on.
Willits has 5 runs on the season, despite only having 4 hits. So you wonder, how is he getting on base to come around to score? He has 4 walks and 0 strikeouts. He takes a bit upstairs. Incredible plate discipline from Willits. He's officially only had 11 plate appearances. He's gotten a walk or a hit in 8 of those. High chopper towards second base. Charging in at Vincula, and he throws on the run in time for out number 2.
Good play by Vincula. Charged on that baseball. Wasted no time getting that from the glove to hand. Nice transfer and throw on time and on target over to first.
Williamson will step up to the plate and thus begins 3 straight Hyannis hitters who have homered in the first 6 games of the season. Williamson, a lefty. He's 4 for 19 on the year. Of course, one of those hits being a home run, 3 RBIs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Williamson wrapping up his season at the University of Central Florida. Calls St. Petersburg his home, or at least did. That's where he was born. Check swing. Say he went around. Strike 2. Solid crowd on hand for this one. The Patriot Cup Series tends to draw those larger crowds. 2 local teams. The first base grandstand occupied by the home Cotuit fans, filling up as first pitch is underway. Plenty of lawn chairs down the lines as well. The 2-2, 2 outs. Upstairs, the count will run full on Andrew Williamson. Mooring with pitch number 10. Would love to keep those pitches per inning pretty low. And that breaking ball missed high and tight. First base runner of the day for the Harbor Hawks reaches via a base on balls, and that brings up Chris Rembert, also with a home run.
You talk about the game he had last night against Wareham. They lost 12-6, but Rembert 4 for 4, double homer, single, just missing that triple.
Pickoff not in time. You look at guys who are going for cycles. Typically, you see them a trip away. Now the thought being, oh, since a home run is the furthest you have to hit it, that surely has to be the hardest tick to cover on reaching a cycle. I would say a triple is. Those triples require that ball to be bouncing around in the outfield or take a weird hop.
And you have to have the speed to get there unless you get the perfect hop, like you're saying, off the wall. And not a lot of these stadiums are that deep, although you do have Orleans with the 435-foot dead central wall. But other than that, there's nothing too outrageous. So, I don't know, if you bang one off the wall in right field around 320, you're going to have a hard time getting all the way to third. Maybe if you hit one off the top of the wall in center here at Lowell, 397, skips off to the right, and Winfield's maybe playing more to his left.
1-2, 2 outs. Cracked in the air, left center field. Wiggins to his left, he's looking up, and that ball is gone. The second home run in as many days for Chris Rembert. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the first, the Harbor Hawks will take a 2-0 lead.
Well, the Harbor Hawks are the best offensive team in the Cape so far this summer, so it was only a matter of time until those bats started working today, and I'm sure they're out for blood after getting beat by 6 last night.
The crooked numbers continuing to haunt Cotuit. That is an inning where a team scores more than a run. You like to keep it just 1s and 0s on the scoreboard. When you start mixing in those 2s, 3s, or 4s, that's when the leads really grow. Just the first hit of the game for Hyannis, and they're up by 2. Miles Bailey is the batter. The count is 1-1 to him. Bailey leads the Harbor Hawks. Well, no longer. He came into this game leading the Harbor Hawks with 6 RBIs. Takes upstairs 2-1. That has since been jumped by Rimbert, who now has 7 RBIs on the season. Infield shaded to the left. Cracked high in the air. Right center field. It's sinking into no man's land, and it will get down. Just split the gap between 4 Cotuit infielders and outfielders. Winfield, Stevens, Advincula, and Farber. All charged to make that play, and none could get there.
And someone just has to call that ball out there. You got 4 guys, and seems like a little miscommunication in the outfield, and you just have to get a glove under that one. I'm sure they're all trying to stay back so no one runs into each other, but again, got to call for that baseball.
Mooring set at the belt, fires a first pitch strike to Ray Velasquez. Velasquez, the 6-hole hitter for Hyannis, hitting from the right side of the plate. 7 for 18 on the year. One of 3 Harbor Hawks in this starting lineup that had 7 base knocks coming into this one. All 3 were tied for the hits lead on the team. With Rimbert's home run, he now stands alone with 8 hits. It's upstairs, 2 balls and a strike here with 2 outs. Top of the first. In case you're just joining us, Hyannis jumped out to a 2-0 lead off the bat of Chris Rimbert. He had a 2-run home run. Reed Mooring hunting for out number 3. Pitch is fouled away, 2-2.
Got to win this at-bat if you're Mooring. Can't allow too much more damage to be done with a runner on first.
Bailey on first. Couple strides off the first base bag, being held honest by Sanderson. The 2-2. And they're called strike 3. Reed Mooring gets punch out number 1. The Harbor Hawks tack 2 runs on him. Hyannis up 2-0. We'll take a break here at Lowell Park. Bottom of the first coming your way. Back here, bottom of the first, Katuitt due up for the first time today, trailing the Harbor Hawks 2-0. Connor Shue, how do the Kettleers step up to the plate?
Jaron Advincula is going to lead things off, the left-handed swinging second baseman. Then it's Ryan Farber, the switch-hitting shortstop. Jack Natilli batting third at the designated hitter position. Nolan Stevens batting cleanup, playing right field. Case Sanderson hitting fifth. Easton Winfield hitting sixth. Luke Lavin in his first Kettleers start batting seventh. Then it's Camden Johnson and Andrew Wiggins to round things out.
The starting nine for the Kettleers trying to take on Trey Beard, who has spun 4 scoreless innings here on Cape. First pitch swinging is Advincula, a slow roller to Rimbert at second, and out number 1. The defense set up for Hyannis. It will be Bailey at first, Rimbert at second, Schaffner at short, Velasquez at third, outfield from left field to right, Bates, Miura, and Williamson. Lackey is doing the catching. Ryan Farber will dig in. Maroon socks nearly up to his knees. Farber riding a 6-game hitting streak. We've played 6 games, so if my math is correct, he's had a hit in every game this Cape League season for Katuitt.
Had 2 hits a couple of games ago. I think he's been swinging it the best out of anybody here.
Pops up a bunt, diving and making the catch is Lackey behind the plate. Sunglasses fell off, but he held on to the ball.
That's an incredible play by Lackey. That ball was falling fast, but Vaughn Lackey made the dive of his life to go and grab that one for out number 2. Oof.
Farber popped up that bunt, and the way it was coming off the bat, you thought, oh, that would just land, fouled away, that's strike 2. Vaughn Lackey said otherwise. Now quickly, 2 outs on the board. That brings up Jack Natilli. Natilli, 4 for 21 this season, has an RBI, 2 walks paired alongside 8 strikeouts. He takes 1-1 is the count here, bottom of the first. 2 outs. Hyannis infield. Playing back a little bit. The middle infielders, heels near the outfield grass. The 1-1, cut on and missed. Hunting for the first hit. Big for Katuitt in this game. The way the bats have been swinging for Katuitt, plenty of singles, only 1 extra base hit. And called strike 3 on the inside corner. That hit won't come in the first inning. We'll head to the second inning. Hyannis up 2-0. This is Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV. The Gaucho deals the 1-0. Misses just a bit high. 2 balls, no strikes. Miura in the first grounded out. That was the first pitch of the game. Now a bit more reserved of an approach in the box. He's 7 for 19 to start this season. A pair of doubles as well. Kenley got those extra base hits. Fouled away. 75 degrees here in the village of Cotuit. Just another beautiful day for baseball. High clouds. Don't quite know what level those are, but they're the ones that are way up high, so nothing threatening here at Lowell Park. Wind whipping out to center. There's a quick pickoff attempt, not in time.
I think those are cirrus clouds, if my memory serves me correctly. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, memory, yeah. You don't have Google open on your computer or anything. Runner goes on the 2-1. One hopper to Avincula, but a sliding Schaffner is safe.
Good run on that pitch by Schaffner. Picked a good one, a breaking ball down low, but I tell you what, I thought of Cirrus, had to double check. I had that one read like a book, I tell you what.
Oh, there we go. So you did get it.
Come on.
You just were double checking. You're fact checking yourself. 3-1, 2 outs. The pitch upstairs. Miura works a walk. He's reached base for the first time today. The first 2 outs easy to come by for Reed Mooring. When he has 2 outs on the scoreboard, that's where things get a little dicey, and before he can deliver to Jackson Willis, Tim O'Connor will come out to the mound to talk things over with not just Mooring, but Lavin, the catcher, and the entire infield.
In a bit of trouble. Couple runners on with 2 outs. Now you're back up against Jackson Willits, one of the hottest hitters on this team. Limited playing time for him, but he's been really good every time he's been up there.
Now that is Willits. It says on the roster he's 12. He's wearing a 20 jersey today, so I will make that change before I forget about it.
Noticed Lackey was 19 on the roster as well, and he's wearing, I think, 26, if my memory serves me right, from seeing him behind the dish.
First pitch upstairs to Willits. Always fun during summer ball where you get guys that are just showing up and then they throw you whatever jersey they have available. That one's ripped on the ground towards Avincula at second. He'll glove on a couple hops and the throw's in time. Hyannis strands a pair of runners. Mooring able to buckle down and get that third out. The Harbor Hawks lead will remain 2-0. We'll head to the bottom of the second when Stevens, Sanderson, and Winfield are due up for the Kettleers. Bottom of inning number 2 here from the beautiful Lowell Park in this matchup between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Cotuit Kettleers. Chris Albright here, joined alongside by Connor Shue, third member of our team, Brooke Kilgore. Will be talking to us in just a couple minutes at the conclusion of this inning. Don't let me forget, we're going to talk to Brooke Kilgore. Nolan Stevens up for the Kettleers. He'll take again. The count is no balls and 2 strikes on Stevens. Will be Stevens, Sanderson, and Winfield. Lefty, lefty, lefty. And then you look at the bottom third of Cotuit's lineup. Lefty, lefty, lefty with Lavin, Johnson, and Wiggins. So plenty of left-handed power in this Cotuit lineup. Stevens on the season, 4 for 24, has 1 RBI, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. The 1-2. Ripped foul over the first base grandstand. All the Cotuit fans in that grandstand turning their heads to watch it sail over them.
I think Stevens is one of the guys in the Cotuit lineup. You look at the way he's been swinging his bat, I think some more power is around the corner.
Breaking ball just missed a bit high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You could see Lackey waited a couple beats just to see if that was going to be a called strike 3, because it did look pretty close.
2-2, no outs. Here's the pitch. Upstairs again. Trey Beard had a stress-free inning number 1. Went 3 up, 3 down. Tip of the cap to his catcher, Lackey. Here's the payoff pitch. Chopped foul. Down the first baseline, past Tim O'Connor, who's doing the first base coaching for Cotuit. Over in the third base coach's box, Kevin Frady.
And it's been Nick Melton at first base, but I think he must be on vacation or something.
O'Connor's the pitching coach, but he's been wheeling guys around first base. Well, maybe more so throwing up the stop sign. We don't want to harp on it too much, but Cotuit only has 1 extra base hit this season. That was a double in game number 1. So still looking to piece together those doubles. Still hunting for the first home run as well. This ball is lofted into left field. Sinking fast, but sprinting over is Schaffner, and he makes the catch.
Good running grab by Schaffner. Ranged out from his shortstop position and is able to get to that one. And over at third, Velasquez had to duck because he didn't know where that ball was, but good thing Schaffner was there to make the play for him.
Coming in hot. It's not a contact sport, baseball is. So you want to avoid that contact whenever possible. Sanderson up now. He'll take a pitch just a bit outside for ball 1. Sanderson only has 2 hits on the season, but he has 3 RBIs. That 3 RBI leads Cotuit. Bouncing ball, right side. Speared, and the throw to first gets away from the covering pitcher, Trey Beard.
It's one of those breaks Cotuit needs.
If there is an error on that, which I have to presume that there will be, it would be on the throw from Bailey, the first baseman.
Waiting for it now.
Well, the scoreboard here is giving the error to Cotuit. That's not going to be the final call.
Throwing error on Miles Bailey,
So
the first baseman.
The error is on the throw. Kettleers still searching for their first hit of this ball game, but will gladly take their first base runner in the form of Sanderson. And now Easton Winfield is up for the Kettleers. Winfield, a returning Ket, just wrapped up his year at Texas after transferring from the University of Louisiana, Monroe, where he annihilated the baseball, I think is a good term for Monroe. Took his talents to the Lone Star State. Didn't see as much playing time there, though when you make a jump to a big-name school like Texas, you don't just come in and take over a starting spot unless you're really a part of that program, so to say. So Winfield will see more playing time as his time at Texas increases. But here with the Kettleers this summer, 4 for 13, a walk. He's worked himself into a 3-1 count. Good opportunity here for walk number 2. Murphy chooses to swing the bat, 3-1, a very good hitter's count.
The walk and hit numbers haven't been great for Katuitt this year, but they've done a good job of getting into deep counts pretty consistently. A lot of these guys have good eyes.
Chopped foul. 3-2 will be the count. Winfield got the green light. It was a good pitch to swing on, just couldn't barrel up that ball. Infield playing at double play depth. Schaffner at short, Rimbert at second, ready to turn 2 if necessary. Low and away, Winfield works a walk. Katuitt puts 2 men on base here in the bottom of the second, neither via a hit, but that has been the summary of the Kettleer season.
It's a fair point. They haven't been swinging the bats as well as they'd want to. Team batting average actually hovering around 179 at this point in the season, 460 OPS, but they're starting to work their walks.
Now up to 21 walks on the season. That puts them at a clean 6th. And Trey Beard out on the mound, motioning something. He'll be talking through his tan glove to the catcher Lackey. Would assume, you don't want to assume it's a pitch comm issue, but with all the motions we've seen calling pitch comm, I might make that assumption. Or he just called time. Either way, everyone's reset, recalibrated and ready to go here with 1 out, bottom of the second. That ball's on the ground. Hot shot into left field. Getting the wave home is Sanderson. The throw will go to third, and Katuitt gets the first run of the ball game off the bat of Luke Lavin.
And there it is. Good work to just push that one out to opposite field. There was a massive hole between second and third, and Lavin just poked it where they weren't.
Winfield moves from first to second. Lavin now occupies first. It was Lavin's first hit of the summer, first RBI of the summer, and gets the Kettleers within a run of Hyannis. Camden Johnson up. He has the Kettleers' lone extra base hit this summer. Bouncing ball towards first. Caught in the air by Bailey, and diving back to first base safely is Lavin. The Kettleers fortunate that Lavin was not doubled up there to end the inning. Now 2 outs, bottom of the second. Wiggins, the 9-hole hitter, a man of many talents, a musician. He played the saxophone for the national anthem today. Sounded incredible. First pitch to him, he takes a little low, ball 1. Wiggins 3 for 13, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. His hits have been through use of his legs, you could say. He's legged out a couple infield singles. Fouls this one back into the parking lot. And that was a very comedically timed glass crashing sound effect by the score sound operator, you call him.
Is Roy Manning then?
Roy, the PA announcer, has a funny bone if he just did that sound effect of the glass cracking. That one's upstairs.
I chuckled.
It got us chuckling. It's a fun day here at Lowell Park. It's costume day. People wearing costumes in the stands.
I think we have to show love to Dennis, one of our photographers, popping up in the hot dog outfit.
Oh, man. Dennis from Dennis, as we call him, hailing from Cape Cod. And he is dressed up as a dog. And boy, does he take incredible pictures. Wiggins works a walk on the 3-1 count, and the Kettleers have loaded the bases here with 2 outs, trying to even up this 1-run Harbor Hawk lead.
Cats are doing a good job of making Beard uncomfortable, keeping him in these deep counts and forcing him to find the zone, but the fastball has stayed high for him, and they've read that and have been able to lay off it successfully pretty often.
Full meeting on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. Entirety of the infield, the catcher Lackey, as well as a member of the Harbor Hawks coaching staff. And now stepping up to the plate, a very lethal threat for Cotuit. Blaze Martinez, Hyannis' pitching coach, watching from the dugout after speaking with Trey Beard. The contact king of Cotuit up at the plate. He takes inside. You could see the way he loads up. He's looking for a good base knock here. With 2 outs, runners are going on anything. A good ball to the power alleys could score 2.
Tell you what, there's a nice gap between the right fielder, Williamson, and the right field line, too.
Avincula puts one on the ground to second base. Routine play for Rimbert, and the crisis is averted for Hyannis, but the Kettleers get a run back in the bottom of the second. We'll head to the top of the third. Harbor Hawks up by 1. This is Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV. Oh, we're going to Brook. I forgot. Oh, my goodness. I even said don't let me forget. So we're going to kick it down field side in the on-deck circle towards Brooke Kilgore, the 3rd member of our team. Brooke, take it away.
Yeah, Chris and Connor, I mean, left fielder Andrew Wiggins may have been flashing the leather and even walked to first base here tonight, but he's doing a lot more than that. He actually performed our national anthem here at Lowell Park and blew the whole community away. If you didn't know this about Wiggins, make sure to look it up after the game. He's an acclaimed musician, can play up to 5 different instruments, including the ukulele and the saxophone, which we saw here tonight. He also won the Louis Armstrong Award, which names one of the best high school musicians in the entire country. So he's got a couple hidden talents up his sleeve, so make sure to keep an eye on him tonight. Chris and Connor, back up to you.
Thank you, Brooke. And with that, we will take a quick break. This is Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV. Top of the 3rd from Lowell Park. It will be Andrew Williamson, Chris Rimbert, and Miles Bailey up for Hyannis. And this was a very dominant part of the Harbor Hawks lineup in the 1st inning. All 3 reached. Williamson and Rimbert came around to score. First pitch, check swing, but it makes contact and fouls it back over the press box here. Beautiful setup here at Lowell Park. Connor Shue, Chris Albright, Brooke Kilgore here. Our producer Sorka Lewis and Riley Lewis, both up in the booth as well. We're spoiled up here. 1-1 is the count. Reed Mooring still working. Ball skips into the catcher, Lavin. Williamson walked in the 1st, then came around to score on a round tripper from Chris Rimburn, who awaits in the on-deck circle. in there for strike 2. Big gap up the middle directly behind Mooring on the mound. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 on the afternoon from Reed Mooring.
He's settled in a lot since that first inning. Did a good job of limiting damage in the second, and he starts this one out with his first swinging strikeout. That was a good sequence.
Brings up Chris Rembert, who takes ball 1. Rembert with 2 home runs on the season. Both have been in the past 2 games. Should I say this game and last night's matchup? Hyannis dropped one against the Gateman. Chopper on the ground towards third. Gloved by Johnson. Throw across the diamond is in time. 2 up, 2 down. In fact, that is how Mooring has started every inning here today. The only problem is Hyannis has been doing great with 2 outs.
They have. The first time around, Williamson walked, and then Chris Rembert homered. Second time around, single and then a walk. But the second time he was able to keep the runners at bay.
First pitch fouled down right to the dirt behind home plate. Last night's matchup between Wareham and Hyannis. Bit of a hitter-friendly type of game. Wareham 12 runs on 16 hits. Hyannis 6 runs on 14 hits. Chopped foul. Count quickly 0-2.
It was a barn burner, to say the least. A lot of runs, a lot of scoring, a lot of stars out that night.
0-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Mooring. Just a bit high. Climbed the elevator on the 93-mile-per-hour fastball.
Let's talk about the man at the dish. Miles Bailey, 327 average, 1,100 OPS, 19 homers in his freshman season with Florida State over in the ACC. Not an easy conference to play in, and that dude just straight up raked.
2-2, 2 outs. And there's strike 3. A 3 up, 3 down inning for Reed Mooring. A pair of strikeouts in there as well. He keeps Hyannis scoreless for the second straight inning. 2-1 ball game. Cotuit due up, trying to tie the Harbor Hawks. Bottom of the third. Good look in at the Cotuit grandstand. There's a couple costumes in there. It is costume night. I think I saw Frankenstein, Raggedy Ann, or Little Red Riding Hood, one of the two. Hot competition for this costume contest, which is happening later in this game. Connor and I did not dress up, unfortunately.
We're dressed as broadcasters.
We are dressed as the Katuitt broadcasters. Farber, a one-hopper to second. Schaffner makes to the throw in time. So out number one will happen here, bottom of the third. Brings up Jack Natilli, the designated hitter. Nolan Stevens on deck. Things really got rolling for Katuitt after Case Sanderson, the 5-hole hitter, reached via an error in the bottom of the second. First pitch, a strike to him, 74 miles per hour. From Trey Beard, the lefty, the Florida State commit. Swing and a miss. A bit of an excuse me swing from Natilli.
Natilli had a real hard hit single last night. Hit .330 at school. See if we can keep it going.
Swing and a miss on a couple of pitches that were borderline there. Natilli just hunting to get a hit in that at bat. Struck out for the second time today. That's been all two of Trey Beard's strikeouts.
And you can imagine how frustrating it is for these guys. Obviously, they'd prefer not to be hitting 170 as a team. And at some points, you get to the point where you're scuffling and you might be overworking or overdoing some things in your routine to try and go get a hit. You might be in the cage a little more often. And for some, that doesn't really work. For some, it does. So I think it's just finding out, do you need to work more or less to try and get things going as a unit offensively?
Sometimes just getting no thoughts, no critiques, and just going back to the basics on your swing can do it also. I mean, it's all easier said than done to just get back to the basics, but the Kettleers on their way to becoming the hitters that they are in college. I mean, all of these guys, the entire lineup, swinging incredible sticks in college. You look at the guy at the plate, Nolan Stevens, just phenomenal numbers.
Hit over 300 at school, and this is a little unrelated to the Cape League, but it's a reference point for taking things easy. A guy
Foul near the screen, almost for us. I would say you pulled up Nolan Jones on Baseball Reference. I thought you confused Nolan Stevens for Nolan Jones for a second.
I've got a story to tell, and Nolan Jones never played in college or in the summer league, so it's a little different for him. Obviously, highly touted prospect, got drafted in the second round in 16, but that's besides the point. He was struggling early this season for the Guardians, and in an interview after he pinch hit early in a game because the left fielder Stephen Kwan went down, he had 3 hits that game, and he said he didn't take any batting practice that day, and he went out there and had 3 hits. And he said his key was he wasn't thinking, and that's what really helped him. So you got to imagine maybe for some of these Katuitt bats, simplifying things could help.
That is an incredible story and very prudent to what's going on. 2-2, 2 outs. On the ground towards second. A couple of hops fielded by Rimburn. Throw to first in time. Katuitt unable to score in the bottom of the third. Go 3 up, 3 down against Trey Beard, who settled back in after surrendering a run in the second. You're watching Cape League Baseball, where the stars of tomorrow shine tonight on Cape League TV. Big hack from him. He fouls it back. 1-1. Plenty of fans still filing in. Fans lining the outfield as this weather warms up and we get closer to true summertime out here on Cape. Expecting Lowell Park to fill up even more. Showing bunt again, Winfield. Laid perfectly down the third base line. That will advance the runner. Exactly what a sacrifice bunt is supposed to do. Winfield is out at first, but Sanderson reaches second.
Does a job. Now you put the bat in the hands of the guy who drove in the first run of the game, Luke Lavin.
Luke Lavin, 1 for 1 today. And since Sanderson was at second, Lavin is 1 for 1 with runners in scoring position today. 1 out here, bottom of the 4th in this matchup between Hyannis and Cotuit, the first of this Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. Just a bit inside, but called strike 1. Again, this Patriot Cup between Hyannis and Cotuit, 2 Barnstable-based teams. Barnstable, the only town in Cape Cod to have 2 Cape League teams. And there's strike 2. Lavin is taking those inside pitches, and the lefty Beard placing them perfectly. Beard, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts today. He's up in this count 0-2 on the Stanford man Luke Lavin. The pitch, breaking ball, hung up there a little longer. Lavin couldn't time it up. Fouled away. Infield playing in. Velasquez over at third for Hyannis. Playing middle of the infield dirt. The pitch. Swing and a miss from Lavin. Out number 2.
Straight over the top of that pitch. Really good action on the breaking ball. Just sinks down and doesn't really give you much of a chance to get to it.
Camden Johnson, lefty swinging bat. He'll make his way into the batter's box. Lined out to first for his first plate appearance. He shows bunt, pulls it back. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to him. 2 outs here, so Johnson confident in his legs to get him to first base by showing bunt. See if he chooses to do so again. That one he got a piece of, but couldn't get it in fair ground. 1-1. Wind whipping out to straightaway center field. Should give Johnson a little bit of a boost. It's a favorable wind, no matter if you're lefty or righty. The 1-1. Finds the outside edge of the zone for strike 2. Beard has been painting the strike zone today. Runner on second, 2 outs. Cotuit trying to even up this 2-1 Hyannis lead. Johnson up. He stares down Trey Beard on the mound. The pitch. Chopped on the ground towards first base. It will be a 3 unassisted to end the inning. Hyannis escapes trouble again and will head to the top of the 5th here on Cape League TV. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting. We're going to Brooke. And Brooke has on a hot dog costume. I couldn't have missed her. Jeez. We'll go to the 3rd member of our team, Brooke Kilgore, who, Brooke, I don't know if you could hear me, but you look very tasty down there.
After all those chili dogs, Chris, I'm surprised you're not down here looking at us right now. I'm here with our team photographer, Dennis, who brought these hot dog costumes. It's our costume night here at the ballpark. Dennis, first of all, do you just have these lying in your closet? What's kind of the vibe with that?
I had to dig around for like 20 minutes today trying to find these, but yeah.
This is absolutely incredible. So there are a bunch of kids here. You may have heard Chris mention it earlier on the broadcast, wearing costumes of all sorts. So we're just one of the two. Hopefully we win something. I don't know if they let interns win a couple of gift cards or whatnot, but I feel like we're one of the best dressed interns in the park. Don't you agree, Dennis?
I do agree.
All right, so you can catch everything that we're doing on the Cotuit Cavaliers Instagram. Look for some of his amazing photos, and if you haven't taken a chance to look at his Instagram yet, definitely head over there. But from the hot dogs, we're sending it back up into the booth to you guys.
Thank you so much, Brooke. Yeah, that I can't think of a good hot dog pun, so we'll just go to break. Catch up with us later after this break. Pitching change for the Cavaliers as we have hit the fifth inning. Now on the bump, Preston Kroll. Kroll, 6 foot flat, 215, out of Franklin County, Virginia. Just wrapped up his ball playing for the Hokies of Virginia Tech. First pitch, up and away. The first Harbor Hawks he'll be facing will be 9-1-2. Jake Schaffner, Matthew Miura, and Jackson Willits. Schaffner at the plate. He is 1 for 1 today with a bunt single back in the second. Did not come around to score. Now 5 for 13 on the season. 2 walks, no strikeouts. Good eye at the plate. Kroll delivers the 2-0, and there for strike one. Hyannis up on the Cavaliers. Fouled back to the screen. Screaming off the black bat of Schaffner. Count will even at 2-2. Now, I will say, after seeing that interview between Brooke and Dennis, both in the hot dog costumes, I am now very hungry, as I typically am up here in the booth.
I myself have struck up an appetite.
2-2. Just a bit high and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We had chili dogs up here yesterday. Those were great. The chili dogs brought to us by the concession stand.
I know there was another new dog we're supposed to try here.
Payoff pitch misses upstairs. It's a leadoff walk for Schaffner.
I can't put my finger on the name, though.
Sausage with peppers and onions. Was that not what you were thinking of?
It might be the right dog, but I don't know if it's called the sausage, pepper, and onion dog.
Well, that's how it shows up on the menu. I mean,
then I'm mistaken, I guess.
Are you thinking of the old name for the chili dog? What was it? The
it could
dugout
be that.
dog or something?
Someone will correct
On
us.
the ground, Advincula flips to second for 1. On to first. Not in time. Almost was a 4-6-3 double play. Miura was getting to first base on the hop.
It's good effort, but Miura's fleet of foot down the first base line, able to make it there in a hurry.
Willits now up for the Harbor Hawks. The switch hitter decides to bat lefty against the right-handed hurler, Preston Kroll. Runner on first, 1 out here. Oh, man. Are you still on the sausage with peppers and onions? Jeez. That's a part of the series, Connor and Cape Cuisine with Chris and Connor, where we are trying foods from all the ballparks we go to. Quick pickoff by Kroll. Jeez. Here we are, dude. We can't be hungry up in the booth. This is what it causes.
I think the joke is done. I don't know why I'm still laughing. I couldn't explain it.
Now we're just done for. Still 0-1. It's Jackson Willits up, who is 0-2. Oh, man. Now I've got the giggles. Jeez. Runner goes, pitches upstairs, throw down to second, gets into center field, and Miura is content at second base. He took a hard slide in. His helmet went rolling into center field. Avincula will hand it over, immediately calling time. 2 balls and no strikes. Kroll dealing to Jackson Willits. That wasn't me. That was you. Willits today 0 for 2. A pair of ground outs. Both of them 4-3 on the putout. Kroll trying to buckle down. Hyenas scored 2 in the top of the first. Since then have been held scoreless. Kroll in replace of Mooring, who was able to get 4 strikeouts. Racked up by the end of his day. The 2-0. Spun high and away. 3 balls and no strikes. The shortstop, Farber, who can really play anywhere in the infield, near second. That 3-0 misses away. The second walk issued by Kroll. Runners on first and second. Meeting on the mound between Lavin and Kroll. Dude. Oh, man. This is why we need Brooke. We are just
unprofessional up here, to say the least. Right now, we are both John Crook.
Talking, of course, about the Philadelphia Phillies broadcast. Is it Tim McCarthy? Tom McCarthy?
Tom McCarthy.
Tom McCarthy and John Crook. And John Crook is a national treasure. I think we both take inspiration from him. We should be taking inspiration from Tom McCarthy. Meeting on the mound commences by Lavin and Kroll, the catcher doing his best to calm down Kroll, who has surrendered 2 walks. First pitch in to Andrew Williamson, swinging a left-handed stick, misses, ball 1. Williamson 0 for 1 today. He did walk in the first, and that was right before the 2-run home run from Rembert. He struck out in his last time up. He hits one high and tailing foul. That will get over the screen down the right field line. Fan will get a souvenir. And after every foul ball into the seats, you hear the PA announcer say foul balls are free. So everyone goes home with a souvenir here at Lowell Park. Always fun when you get to keep the baseball. 1-1 the count. Kroll dealing to Williamson. Runners on first and second. 1 out here, top of the 5th. Kroll checks the runner at second. Now delivers. That's fouled high off the end of the bat, and fans will go running for that foul ball, which lands near the concession stand.
Noticed Miura and Willits are both ready to go at second and third. Maybe a hit and run in place because each of them had nice leads off the bag. Were dancing back and forth, ready to go.
Kroll battles ahead in this count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Bouncing ball right up the middle. Avincula will toss to second for 1. There's the double play. No, it's not. Another bang-bang play at first base. Man, that one was close.
You can see at second, Avincula and Farber couldn't believe that was called safe. It was close. Is this a situation where you pull out the challenge card if you're Lauren Hibbs?
I have to look and see if challenges are indeed allowed here in the Cape League. Looks like whatever the call is on the diamond will go. With 2 outs, there's runners on first and second. Williamson at first. Miura at third. Runner goes at first. There won't be a throw down to second. The Kettleers content with giving a base to Williamson. The second stolen base of the game for the Harbor Hawks, who came into this one. They were active on the base paths. 13 stolen bases. They're up to 15. Chopper, left side. Fielded, gloved, throw to first. That one is in time. Another scoreless frame from Kettleers pitching. Preston Kroll comes in and gets the job done. Hyannis still leads 2-1. This is Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV, and when we return, Connor Shue on the play-by-play.
New pitcher out there is Carson Jassa for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks against the Cotuit Kettleers. It's a 2-1 ball game. Hawks up on the Kettleers. I'm Connor Shue alongside Chris Albright, my play-by-play partner. Then it's Brooke Kilgore doing the sideline. And Sorka Lewis and Riley Lewis on the boards for this ball game here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Andrew Wiggins, Jaron Advicula, Ryan Farber due up for the Kets. Wiggins at the dish right now. Has a walk and a beautifully played national anthem to his name today on the saxophone.
And I will correct myself. He doesn't play 12 instruments. He plays 5, but that is 5 more than I can play.
Never picked up a guitar? Anything?
I played French horn in the middle school and high school band for a couple years.
That qualifies. 2-0 pitch is low. Carson Jassa pitches at Nebraska. 8.68 ERA there this past year. 24 strikeouts in 18 2/3 though. 3-0 strike to Wiggins. Big problem for him was the walks. 19 issued in 18 2/3. It's inside, ball 4.
And we haven't quite seen it this season, or this summer, I should say, from Wiggins. But he came in after a phenomenal year at Indiana where he had more walks than strikeouts. 38 walks to 36 strikeouts. So he has a great eye at the plate. Came into this game 2 walks compared to 6 strikeouts. But he has 2 walks today. He's trying to get that ratio, that walk-to-strikeout ratio, back to 1-1.
Think he has it in him. Good bat to pass it to. On the leadoff walk, it's Jaron Advincula. 0 for 2 today. Rips it into the pitcher's glove, throws back to second, gets the lead runner. Jaron Advincula will reach. So a fielder's choice. Score that a 2-6. Threw that over to the shortstop, Schaffner.
You saw Wiggins hesitate over at first base, wondering if that ball was caught. He erred on the side of it being caught by Jassa. Even if Jassa didn't catch it, it was not likely that he was going to beat it out. So just stay close to first base. But Advincula will trade places with Wiggins.
Advincula, a willing base stealer. Got to watch out for him if you're the Harbor Hawks. Had 2 stolen bases yesterday.
And perhaps the most notable thing about Jared Advincula with stolen bases is he gets the pass. Lauren Hibbs, the Cotuit skipper, says he'll let Jared Advincula feel out how the pitcher is throwing and then decide whether or not he wants to steal. So he's not looking for signs. He's not looking and saying, oh, I need to steal or I can't steal. He is using his own judgment, and he's been successful. He's 5 for 5 on stolen bases so far.
He has the pedigree to do that. 13 stolen bags at Cal this past spring. He's in the transfer portal now. Jassa deals home. Tailing breaking ball is low, and he has struggled to find the strike zone against this Kettleers order. Ryan Farber's the batter. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Pop up to the catcher. Fine play made by Vaughn Lackey back in the first, and a ground out in the third.
Jassa has now thrown 10 pitches in this inning, only 3 strikes.
He's ready for the 3-1 pitch to Ryan Farber. Here it comes. Swing and a check foul. 3-2. You know, Farber has been moving around the infield diamond a lot this year, but last season at Texas State, he played some center field as well. Haven't seen that yet this summer, but maybe that reveals itself later on. Three-two count. Advincula dancing, going. Throw down to second. He's in there. Or not. Thought he beat the throw, but the throw got him in time. Nice tag by Schaffner, the shortstop. Side retired by Carson Jassa. 2-1 ball game here on Cape League TV, entering the top of the 6th. Krall out there for his second inning of work, his second game with the Kets. pitched 4 innings of shutout ball earlier in the first weekend of the season. Batter is Miles Bailey, the left-handed swinging first baseman out of Florida State. Then it's Ray Velasquez and Charlie Bates. Bailey a single and a strikeout looking today. Kettleers went down in order as oddly as they possibly could. Andrew Wiggins walked and then got caught at second after Janet Vincula lined one into the pitcher's glove, but he dropped it and threw it to second. And Vincula was safe. And then Vincula got thrown out on a strike him out, thrown out on a 3-2 count. That ball skips high. 3-1 is your count.
Yeah, not a 3 up, 3 down you see very often. I mean, can you even call it a 3 up? I guess you can, because 3 came up to bat and 3 went down, but not, well, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a very non-traditional 3 up, 3 down.
Cracked on the ground towards first, gets through the glove of Sanderson into the outfield, and Bailey is safe.
Still waiting on that official scoring. Going to go ahead and assume it's an E3 on that one, allowing Bailey to reach. Now Katuitt will match the 1 error from Hyannis already today.
Each team with a defensive miscue, an E3 on Case Sanderson. Ray Velasquez, couple of strikeouts today. Last night against Wareham, went 1 for 3 with a double. Drove in a run, walked twice, struck out twice. One 0 count. Kroll drops a breaking ball in there, a strike.
This is what Kroll does. In his time with Virginia Tech, he was primarily a setup man, a setup reliever. 25 appearances, all were in relief, only 1 save. So he's the guy that will come in after a starter leaves, but before a reliever comes in, will eat up, try to eat up an inning or two. He pitched 32 1/3 innings, only allowed 14 earned runs, struck out 43 in those 32 1/3 innings.
To only 26 walks. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch up high.
Doing the math, that works itself out to a 3.90 ERA. Impressive in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Doing the math.
I didn't do it. The Virginia Tech statistician did. Shout out to Virginia Tech for doing the math for me.
The 2-2. Hot grounder towards short. Throw to second. Can they turn 2? Yes, they can. 2 retired via the grounder off the bat of Ray Velasquez. All of a sudden, there's 2 outs in this inning.
Katuitt has been looking for that double play all game long. A couple of times, the speedy legs from the Harbor Hawks beat out the throw to first. That time, the Kettleers say, you know what, we'll take our double play. Now a big gap in right center field.
If Charlie Bates has some pull side power, he can split the gap and get himself some extra bases. He's playing left field tonight. Played shortstop against Wareham last night. Did him well. He went 3 for 4 with a double. The 0-1 pitch. Outside.
I must say, this is a bit of an unorthodox setup from the Kettleers outfield, especially with a left-handed hitter in Bates. The center fielder Winfield's shaded to his right, and the right fielder Stevens is shaded to his left. Doesn't really matter when Kroll gets ahead in this count.
Bates digs back in, a 375 average with Hyannis this summer entering play. Kroll looks home. Just off the outside corner with a fastball.
That was where the catcher Lavin was set up. It was a good pitch, especially on a 1-2 count. Try to get Bates swinging, but he wasn't biting on it.
The pitch. Just golfed it out of there, foul. We will do it again at 2-2.
Kroll is favoring the outside in this at-bat, not trying to throw anything in on the batter Bates.
Bates from Stanford, a teammate of the catcher Lavin right behind him.
I think they're talking down there at the plate.
2-2 pitch. Rocked foul. Do it again. 270 average at school in his freshman year at Stanford for Bates. 3 triples, 4 doubles, a homer. Limited action, 89 at-bats. But he's hitting well so far this summer. In there, called strike 3. 1-2-3 for Preston Kroll. He's through 2 scoreless entering the bottom of the 6th. Cats up to bat next. Jack Natilli, Nolan Stevens, Case Sanderson do up 3, 4, and 5. And allowed 2 base runners, but was able to retire each of them on the base paths. One with a gun down to second from Vaughn Lackey, the catcher, and then a throwback from the man himself, Jasa, to second to retire Wiggins. It's Jack Natilli, the number 3 hitter. DH, he's been hitting third every game for the Kettleers this summer. Looping curve, looped right into the small of his back. Natilli will take his base.
Hyannis up by 1. This is a close game that Cotuit would love to keep close. They've done a good job avoiding any extra damage from the Harbor Hawks. Now more so, can they answer back? They got 1 run in the bottom of the 2nd. Trying to keep it close, let your bullpen do the rest, as they have a lot of the season.
First pitch upstairs to Stevens. After him, it's Case Sanderson. Stevens a pop out and a ground out. Looking for his first base hit of the evening. Sun coming down here at Lowell Park. Thin clouds up in the sky. A little bit of blue peeking through and shadows on the third base side of the infield. Even more fans in the outfield than there were yesterday. Lackey thought there was going to be a rundown from Natilli, but he didn't leave his post at first. But check it out. There's at least 20, 30 fans out there behind the fence.
I would even say more. I wouldn't be shocked if you called it, maybe 50, 75.
I think so. 4-pitch walk for Stevens. Nebraska matchup.
Jassa has thrown 17 pitches, 5 of them for strikes. Command seeming to be something that he is struggling with right now.
Struggled with it at school. 19 free passes given out in 18 2/3 innings. The 6-7 hurler's ready. Sanderson showing bunt. Nearly a throw down. I think he would have gotten a Tilly. He was well off the bag over at second.
Ketelier's not afraid to be playing small ball right now. I mean, when you have a lot of singles, as this team does, you're maybe not trying to hunt for those extra base hits. Why not lay down some bunts, get runners into scoring position?
He's pulled back both times. 2-0 count. 2 runners on, no outs. A scary spot to be in if you're Carson Jassa. Sanderson in the box. Stevens on first, Natili at second. Easton to Winfield on deck. The 2-0. Throw down. And Natili tried to Euro step the tag of the shortstop Schaffner, but could not get out of the way. He's down from second.
Cotuit base runners were dancing, trying to get a good jump on a bunt if Sanderson was able to lay one down, but that's the problem when you're taking 5-6 strides off the bag. You got to get back in a hurry, especially with an arm behind the plate like Lackey.
Lackey's had a handful of nice plays tonight. Jassa walks Sanderson. He's put everybody on base so far this inning. But lucky enough that he's got Lackey with that gun behind home plate. 2 runners caught stealing. Also had that nice catch to rob a Ryan Farber foul tip bunt. Easton Winfield's up. Has a walk today. Takes upstairs and a long-awaited strike from Jassa.
Looks like Winfield's initially given the green light. Now he's getting some signs over from the dugout. If he does try to bunt, Stevens at second base has to be mindful of Schaffner, who's covering second base.
Carson Jassa before this outing, 3 innings pitched in 2 games, 3 ERA so far this summer, 3 strikeouts, 3 free passes. So mixed results on his end. Hasn't given up a run yet tonight. But he is in trouble. 2 runners on with 1 down. The pitch. Hit hard on the ground towards first. Back to second, and they'll hold. Runners on the corners after Winfield reaches on the fielder's choice.
Every batter for Cotuit has reached base today. However, some good defense from the Harbor Hawks and a great arm on the catcher Lackey has really stifled any threat. Cotuit still no runs across the plate this inning. It would be a great opportunity to tie this game with 2 on.
Here comes Luke Lavin. He drove in the first run for the Kettleers. An RBI single back in the second. On the corner, a strike. He drove in Sanderson, who's been retired on the bases. Nolan Stevens is at third. The 0-1. Looping curve is in there, a strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Crucial pitch incoming for Jassa. Swing and a miss. And he gets out of the inning unscathed. Leaves a couple of base runners, and it's 2-1. Hyannis going into the top of the 7th. Lackey, Schaffner, Miura duo up 8-1 for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks here on Cape League TV. The order, and then the leadoff man, Matt Miura. Vaughn Lackey hitting 8th, then it's Jake Schaffner batting 9th, and Matt Miura, again, the leadoff man from center field.
Albany's this season, through 2 appearances, he has a 7.71 ERA over 2 1/3 innings of work, allowed 3 hits. He's allowed 4 runs, only 2 of those are earned. He has walked 4 and struck out 2. A lot of that was him coming into the game, though, with runners on the bases. He inherited some runners, so this one a clean slate for him. Hopefully takes the weight off his shoulders on the mound.
Starts it off with a first pitch strike on the sweeping slider. Looks confident with that first offer. Albany's 2.97 ERA and 39 1/3 innings has the Spartans closer. I think we're in order for a little score check here around the Cape. Brewster and YD scoreless in the 6th, and Brewster's being no hit after scoring 14 runs last night. That shot high in the air. Lavin takes off the mask and makes the catch for out number 1. But back to that, Brewster getting no hit is like the Dodgers being no hit. They're 6-0, and they've been dominating the Cape so far this summer.
I mean, they had a run rule win over Bourne yesterday, and now YD no hitting the Whitecaps. It's the bottom of the 6th, now with 1 out. YD the home team, so Brewster needs the final 3 innings. I mean, the big takeaway also, it's a 0-0 ball game, so the no-hitter doesn't really matter right now as the game is still tied.
YD has 6 hits, no runs. They have runners on the corners, though. Falmouth and Wareham, the gateman, up 3-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. Harwich and Orleans scoreless in the top of the 2nd.
My goodness.
And Bourne and Chatham have yet to start their action. Well, We've got quite the platter on our hands, Chris.
I think my this is what happens when family comes to town. My younger sister, who's been listening in, along with my family, knows that we're doing our Cape cuisine as we eat across ballparks.
Swing and a miss. Albany's dealing to Schaffner. He looks strong through the first two batters.
So we have just been brought a smorgasbord of food right now. I mean, nachos, a chili dog, and hot dog nachos, it looks like.
That looks incredible.
My goodness.
Don't even know where to start, right?
Do not know either.
That's that hot dog I was talking about, right there.
Not the sausage with peppers and onions that I thought.
No, not quite. Thank you to the Albrights. 0-1 count to Matt Miura. Leadoff man, he's reached twice on a walk and a fielder's choice. The 0-1. Socked out to right field. That's going to get into the glove of Nolan Stevens. What a sliding play. Feet first. Heck of a grab by the Oklahoma right fielder. We're going to the bottom of the seventh here on Cape League TV. 2-1 Hyannis. Camden Johnson leading things off here in the bottom of the seventh. Cats looking to cut this lead. It's 2-1. Hyannis above them. It's Johnson, Wiggins, and Advincula. Cats threatened last time they came up. Got runners in the corners with 2 outs, but Luke Lavin struck out. Carson Jassa did struggle a lot, who's still out there for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. He's thrown 29 pitches, only 11 of them strikes.
And Kettleer's hitters are not really challenging him with swings. We've seen a lot of guys come up to the plate and just show bunt.
Johnson's ready. Jassa delivers. In their called strike. Again, 2-1 ball game. Kettleers looking for their second win of the season. Heck, they'd be 2-0 in division. Upstairs, their lone win against the Gatemen of Wareham back on Sunday in walk-off fashion. Case Sanderson hit a single to win 2-1.
Yeah, Kettleers, all 5 of their losses coming against teams in the Eastern Division.
The 2-2. Swing and a foul tip strikeout from Camden Johnson. And Carson Jassa, while he hasn't been pounding the zone, the stuff has been playing. That's his 3rd strikeout.
In the previous frame, bottom of the 6th, Jassa went hit by pitch, walk, walk. He then ended the inning with a strikeout and starts this inning with a strikeout. So whatever nerves he had at the beginning of the bottom of the 6th seems to have shook them off.
And I just peeked over at the Hyannis bullpen. There's a guy up, but not throwing, so, or at least he's just starting out his tosses. So they're confident in Jassa. One and one count against Andrew Wiggins. Watches one low. He's got 2 walks today. Looks like that's Adam Troy over there in the pen. The right-hander coming to USC from Pepperdine.
You beat me to it, and I have the binoculars.
These glasses are doing me well today, Chris, I must say.
How did you get that without the binoculars?
Turned around, showed the jersey number in our direction. Boom. Got him. 3-1 pitch on the corner.
That was painted perfectly. I mean, Jess is really settled in. He is now throwing strikes.
I think you got to get your eyes checked, Chris. 3-2. Inside, and that kicks off of Wiggins' shins. He'll reach with an HBP.
Wiggins has reached base 3 times today, none of which are via a hit. Been walked twice and now a hit by pitch.
Jaron Advincula, he's hitless today, but came into this game hitting .300. 2 stolen bags and a hit last night against Harwich. Mound meeting, Jassa and Lackey. Jassa has given up 5 free passes, 2 via the hit by pitch and a pair of walks. There's a chance this could be it for him. We'll see how ready the arm and the pen is. Adam Troy. Blaze Martinez, the pitching coach, out there with the rest of the infield. And Jassa trying to make it through 3 innings complete. He's through 2 1/3 right now. Everything's slowing down, and this is a pretty long one. Everyone in there, and it looks like that is the end of the line for him. Adam Troy, the new reliever. We'll talk more about him in a moment here on Cape League TV. Adam Troy's the new arm out lefty, switch, and righty batting. So 2 left-handed hitters against Adam Troy.
Troy, 6'3", 200. Plays his ball at Pepperdine University. He's had 1 appearance for the Harbor Hawks this season. Only went an inning. Gave him no hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 1.
Troy at Pepperdine, 5.79 ERA this past season in the West Coast Conference. 27 strikeouts and 23 in a third innings pitched. He was their closer, 6 saves. Last summer, spent time with another lauded summer league, the Northwoods League, with the Wilmar Stingers. Runner goes, and that pops out of the glove of Lackey, so no opportunity to get Wiggins over there on second.
Good situational base running from Wiggins. You have 1 out. You would love to get a runner over to third base, maybe get a sacrifice fly in play. Wiggins does have some wheels.
So they're going to call that a stolen base for Wiggins, his first of the summer. First of the day for the Kettleers. Jaron Advincula, 2-1 count. Trying to move the runner, Wiggins. Slap back to the screen. Again, there's that big shift out to the left side for Advincula. Oddly enough, the right fielder, Andrew Williamson, is playing a long ways away from the right field foul line. There's got to be at least 40 feet of green grass that Advincula can pull into right there.
Anything over the head of the first baseman, Bailey, will score Wiggins.
2-2. Down low. Good stop by Lackey. Not to mention a large opening between right and center. Miura over there in center is brought to his right a little bit. Here's the 3-2 inside. Brushes Advincula off the plate. He takes a walk. Good situation for Ryan Farber stepping in.
Advincula doing what a seasoned veteran does on those pitches close to the zone. If you really want to sell it to the home plate umpire, back yourself away from the plate and make that ball look a lot further inside than it is. It was a ball regardless, so Advincula didn't win a walk, just really emphasized it.
Now it's going to be Ryan Farber after a meeting with the skipper, Lauren Hibbs, giving some sage wisdom with his near 40 years of coaching experience.
Plenty of accolades for Lauren Hibbs, but when you talk to him, it's not about the accolades for him this summer. It's about getting these guys to the next level, advancing them as players. Says he already has a national championship ring.
Wichita State Shockers. First pitch to Farber is up and in on the corner. And he's been great to get to know early on in this summer. Very, very humble guy.
Humble, great with words. Can articulate anything and everything about coaching and baseball.
Smashed foul into the screen. It's 0-2.
I mean, you almost have to bring a notebook every time you talk with Lauren Hibbs because the amount of wisdom that he shares, you just want to write it down. Keep it with you.
Full of quotables. The count is 0-2. There is 1 out, 2 runners on base here in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch. Low and in. Taking all the way was Farber. Advincula walked. Wiggins got hit. Heck, it would have been a walk anyway for Wiggins. That pitch tailed way inside, and that was ball 4 before it got him on the shin. Here's the 1-2. Up into the screen again.
And not that it really matters, but for those keeping score, it looks like they did rule Wiggins as a walk as well. So he's reached base 3 times, all via a walk.
We'll change that in the old scorebook. So 3 walks on 3 plate appearances for Andrew Wiggins today. How about it? 1-2. Another foul back. It looks like the reliever Adam Troy is just going to the well with that fastball and just continuing to challenge Farber.
Peppering everything in that top part of the strike zone, and Farber is not going down looking, swinging at everything around the zone. He has great composure at the plate.
2-1 ball game in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Hits low. 2-2.
Farber trying to extend his 6-game hitting streak to start this season. Has been a phenomenal bat for Cotuit. Came in with 7 hits. That led the team.
Troy uncorks a pitch. Ripped on the ground towards second. Double play ball. Made in time. Kettleers retired on another grounded into a double play. And we're going to the top of the 8th. It is 2-1. Hyannis is up. They'll bring up 2 through 4. Jackson Willits, Andrew Williamson, and Chris Rembert. Again, 2-1 Hyannis here at Lowell Park. Increases with how tall you are and how long your arms are. It's Tyler Albanese. He can top out at 95 on the fastball, but that thing looks a lot faster when it's bearing down on you. Swing and a miss. That pitch was 91 miles an hour, but tell you what, that probably looked like 95 to Jackson Willits. Willits, the designated hitter. Bats both sides of the plate. A couple of groundouts and a walk for him today. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout swinging issued by Tyler Albanese today.
Cotuit's bullpen, we've mentioned before, has just been a bright spot for the team. Coming into this game, the bullpen combined had an ERA of 2.56. That was
Albanese today.
Cotuit, mentioned before, has just been a bright spot. Bullpen combined, the third best in the case. Had 3 1/3 innings, and all 3.
1-0 to Andrew Williamson, the UCF outfielder. 352 average at school this past year with the Golden Knights. Patient take upstairs. Williamson, the left-handed swinging rising junior from St. Petersburg. Here's the 2-0. Inside, but on the corner. Known for the contact bat, of course, with the 350 batting average in the Big 12. Inside, it's 3-1. All Big 12 honorable mention this past year. Heck, he even hit for the cycle against Texas Tech. The pitch lifted. It's going to tail foul. It's 3-2. And I'm sure you remember this name, but his uncle is Sean Rodriguez, the corner infielder for Pirates, Braves, Rays, I think most notably. The 3-2. Shot in the air. That's to the outfield and left. Chasing it down is Andrew Wiggins, who gets it with the hat falling off, 2 down.
Albany is able to battle back in that count. He was down 3-1, able to get a foul ball, and then just a weak fly ball to left field. This is a very lethal part of the Harbor Hawks lineup. This top half, everyone really able to put power on the ball. Albany is facing them head on.
Now he's got Chris Rembert, who homered back in the first inning. First pitch ball. Chris Rembert can play the infield and the outfield. Rising sophomore at Auburn. The 1-0. Slapped foul off to the right side. 344 average at school and on-base percentage flirting with 500. 37 walks to 36 strikeouts. Power and patience for Rembert. Albany's kicks and deals. Stayed inside. It's 2-1.
Trying to get that baseball to spin back in towards the plate. Was trying to, just didn't have enough time.
Albany's looking for 2 straight scoreless innings. Has retired all 5 batters he's seen.
You don't want to offer anything too hittable to Rembert. Already demonstrating his powerful bat. His 2-run home run in the first, those have been the only runs for Hyannis today.
Leads the Cape in on-base plus slugging. He rips that one out to left field, and you can say goodbye to that one. A round tripper, the second of the night for Chris Rembert, gives Hyannis some insurance.
It's been all on him today. All 3 RBIs. The only 2 times Hyannis has scored have been home runs from Rembert. I mean, he leads the Cape in on-base plus slugging for a reason. He's a good bat at the plate. These 2 home runs today, hits 8 and 9 of the season, closing in on double digits just about a week in.
That might be your Cape League MVP when it's all said and done. He is annihilating every pitcher that's put in front of him. Albany's dealing to Miles Bailey, the left-handed swinging first baseman, knocks that foul. Brandon Langley warming in the Kettleers' pen.
Ryan Buckler is throwing there as well.
Albany's deals. Swing and a miss on the big breaking pitch. Buckler only thrown once this summer. Langley a couple of appearances, but Buckler's been on the shelf for nearly a week at this point. Albany's gearing up for the 1-2. Inside.
Buckler, one of those relievers you can run a hurry warm-up on. Just get the arm loose quick in case anything blows up.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. No one on base for Miles Bailey at the plate. Albany's the Kettleer deals. Rocked out to left field. That's going to get down a base knock. Traveling all the way towards the warning track. Wiggins stops it. And Bailey on a slide. He's safe despite the nice throw from Wiggins in left.
Another close play, this time at second base. Had that throw gotten in there maybe a second, half second earlier, would have gotten Bailey out stretching for 2.
Heck of an effort from Wiggins to get that ball back into second base, but this could be the end of the line for Tyler Albanese. Here comes Tim O'Connor and the whole infield. Brandon Langley, or I think that's Buckler, on his way out. Or no, they're waving Buckler back to the bullpen.
Buckler got about halfway towards the infield dirt before the meeting on the mound started waving him back.
So no pitching change. They're going to let Tyler Albanese ride this one out.
Here with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. That 2 outs is important to say because every single Hyannis hit today and every single Hyannis run today has happened with 2 outs on the scoreboard. The first 2 outs in an inning, Cotuit is getting just fine. The problem is once you hit 2 outs, trying to close out the inning. And Hyannis, a lot of credit to the Harbor Hawks for their 2-out approach at the plate.
It's been trouble for them once you really got to buckle down and get that final out of a frame. Albanese way inside to Velasquez. Did a good job to lay off. 1-0 for the third baseman. Swinging with Miles Bailey on second. Hyannis 3 runs on 5 hits. Cotuit 1 run on 2 hits. Ray Velasquez has been swinging a hot bat this summer. 389 average coming into action tonight. OPS over 1,000. Here's the 2-0. Outside corner, strike. If you're Albanese, you just have to get the guy in front of you out. Don't worry about Bailey on second. Here's his 2-1. Just outside. Albanese was second team All-Mountain West in 2025. Almost 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. Laced into left field. Wiggins coming into play. It makes the grab for out number 3. Albanese gets out of it, but allows 1 run on the solo shot off the bat of Chris Renbert. It is 3-1, Hyannis over Cotuit. Second to last chance for the Kettleers coming up with Jack Natilli, Nolan Stevens, and Case Sanderson all due up 3 through 5 here on Cape League TV. Harbor Hawks some insurance in the top of the 8th. They're up 3-1 on the Cotuit Kettleers at Lowell Park here on Cape League TV. Jack Natilli to lead off the inning. The catcher / designated hitter out here. Then it's Nolan Stevens and Case Sanderson. Natilli reached via hit by pitch last time up. Adam Troy pitched a scoreless 7th inning. Struck out Camden Johnson and faced some trouble on the base paths, but got a double play to end it. The 0-1 pitch upstairs at the face of Natilli. Natilli's ready with that uneven stance. Here's your 1-1. Strike 2. Stats updating in real time on the Cape Cod Baseball League website. Harbor Hawks up to a 772 OPS that leads all of the Cape League. Cotuit down to a 460 OPS. Just trying to get something going with the bats here.
Only 2 hits on the afternoon for the Kettleers.
2-2 to Natilli. Chopped foul.
I mean, and all the credit in the world to Hyannis' pitching. They have not been making it easy on the Kettleers whatsoever.
No, their arms have been incredible tonight. Trey Beard spun a nice start. Only the single run unearned in 4 innings. Low, good at-bat from Natilli, has worked this to a full count. But Trey Beard allowed the 1 run on the Luke Lavin single. Brought in Case Sanderson, who reached on an error. That's your lone score for the Kets. The 3-2 pitch. Low and in. Ball 4 for Natilli.
While we talk about the Hyannis pitching, they've done a great job at limiting the runs as a complete arsenal. They've been doing a great job limiting the hits. The walks have been where the Harbor Hawks pitching has really had some trouble. 8 walks today issued by Hyannis pitching compared to 6 strikeouts. You love that walk to strikeout ratio to have higher strikeouts than walks. Has not been the case today.
The deal home, swing and a miss from Stevens. Jassa walked 3, Troy has walked 3, Beard walked 2. But again, only 2 hits for the Kettleers. Lefty-righty matchup. Stevens has pull side power. Swing and a miss. Natilli, the runner on first. He got backpicked last time he was on in the 6th at second base. And the throw back to first. He was a good 10 feet off the bag when that throw came into second from Lackey.
Caught in no man's land.
0-2 pitch from Troy. Swinging a chop foul. Stevens staying alive. Troy's over the 20 pitch threshold. Only through 2/3 of an inning. He got the final 2 outs of the 7th after Carson Jassa got run out of the game. Here's the 0-2. Hit high and foul, tailing into the parking lot. Runner on first is Natilli. Stevens the batter. He represents the tying run. Laced foul.
Ryan Speciak warming up in the Harbor Hawk bullpen.
We'll see how long they leave Troy out there. He's gotten 2 outs. Stevens continuing to fight off the Troy attack, swing after swing.
It's still an 0-2 count. This has been a 6-pitch at bat.
The 0-2 for the 4th time incoming. Swing and a miss. Throw back to first. And Natilli is safe. But a strikeout of Nolan Stevens makes it a 1-out 8th inning.
Natilli very close to being backpicked at first base. He had to dive back in a hurry to avoid the tag from Bailey over at first base.
First pitch incoming to Case Sanderson. He has the last Kettleers hit, a single back in the 4th. Eight walks for the Cats today. 2 hits. Left 6 runners on so far. The 1-0. Hits straight to the second baseman, but it gets under the glove of Rembert over there. And on his way to third is Natilli. And all of a sudden, there's runners on the corners for Easton Winfield, who represents the winning run here in the bottom of the 8th.
Natilli, who was at first base, saw that ball go flying past him on a line. It was a sinking line drive when it got to Rembert, and perhaps he was too focused on seeing Natili dash in front of him. He just totally misplayed the ball, got past him, and next thing you know, runners on the corners for Cotuit. The tying run is on first base, and the go-ahead run is up to bat.
That easily could have ended the inning, too. Turn it over to second, back to first in time to get Sanderson, but no. Right past the glove, and guess who it is? Rintaro Sasaki pinch hitting for Easton Winfield. Lefty power getting into the box here in a moment. No score on whether that's a hit for Sanderson yet. Was close, because the question is, was it easily playable at second base as there's a mound meeting, and I think we're going to see a new pitcher here momentarily to maybe get a 5-out save here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. We'll tell you who it is and more here in a moment at Cape League TV. New pitch.
Hitter who knows the pitcher, and it can really go either way.
Rintaro's hitting with 2 on. Natili on third, and on first, it's Case Sanderson after his second knock of the day. Sasaki is hitless in 2 games this summer. What a time would it be to get his first? First pitch strike. So Adam Troy's line finishes with 1 inning pitched. A hit allowed, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. These 2 runs would be inherited to him, though. Speciak is settled on the mound. Here's the pitch. It's low, ball 1. 533 earned run average at Stanford this past year. 21 games played, only 1 start. 38 strikeouts in 27 innings. The 1-1. Taking a ball.
Cotuit pinch hitters are hitting at a .286 average this season. That's 3rd best in the Cape League.
they've come in and looked good at the plate. 2-1. Rocked foul. Tailing left and down. It is 2-2. Sasaki, 140 home runs in high school back in Japan. That's the country's all-time record for high school hitters. With the purple batting glove, Sasaki is ready. The 2-2. Hit high off to the other side, out of play. Two-two count. Runners on the corners. One down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sasaki versus Speciak. Swing and a miss on a pitch down low. A strikeout for Rentaro Sasaki, so the pitcher from Stanford wins the battle.
Well, that answers the question. We'll have another go at it as Lavin steps up, also hailing from Stanford. But to have your first batter faced be Rentaro Sasaki and get him swinging, certainly a boost of confidence up on the mound for Speciak.
Can't hurt. He's got the scout on him and Lavin. 0-1 after the swing and a miss. Two down, runners on the corners. If there's any situation for the Kettleers to score another run, it is right now. A runner on third in the bottom of the 8th inning again. Then Sanderson on first as well. Low, it's 1-1. 3-1 ball game, Hyannis up. Katuitt walked off Wareham for their first and only win. Kettleers looking for some late inning magic to win this one. Chopped foul. One ball, two strikes to Luke Lavin, the catcher from Stanford. Against Ryan Speciak, the right-handed arm from Stanford who hurls a curveball ball. Two balls and two strikes. Getting his bearings in the box is Lavin. Here's the pitch. Outside. Full count. Runners on the corners. 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th. Speciak deals. In there, called strike 3. Lavin down looking. 2 runners left on the corners. We will go to the top of the 9th, where it's Charlie Bates, Vaughn Lackey, Jake Schaffner due up at the bottom of the Harbor Hawks order on Cape League TV. Andrew Wiggins has moved over to center, and Nolan Stevens switches sides to the left corner outfield spot.
We saw Buckler attempt to make his way into the game earlier. That was back in the 8th. Instead, the Kettleers call on him to close things out here in the 9th. The Barnstable native.
Top 9, 3-1 ball game. Hyannis up 3-1, trying to gain some insurance, as there appears to be some type of pitch comm issue with Ryan Buckler's system in his hat.
Now, Buckler being from Barnstable, this Patriot Cup series being played between Cotuit and Hyannis, both teams reside within Barnstable. Buckler grew up being a Hyannis, I don't want to say supporter, but closer with Hyannis than he did Cotuit.
See, we'll have to get the read on who he was rooting for when he was a young chap.
We got the answer, and I am fairly sure we heard Hyannis because it shocked me that now he's pitching for Cotuit. It's just one of those, you get a guy cheering for the Angels, and then he pitches for the Dodgers or something. It's something like that.
I think a similar magnitude.
Yeah.
1-0 count, Buckler to Bates, who is hitless today. Chops one over the bag, fair ball. Rentaro makes the play over at first. This broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. Here's Vaughn Lackey. Oh for 3 today, but has made up for it with some strong defense behind the dish. Slider drifts in a strike. Foul tip strike. 0-2. Vaughn Lackey, a catcher from Georgia Tech. 347 average at school this year. Upstairs near the face of Lackey, a ball. 14 doubles, 6 long balls for Lackey with the Yellow Jackets. Called strike 3, Ryan Buckler. His first strikeout looking of the outing, 2 down.
Cotuit pitchers have been doing a great job getting those strikeouts, both swinging and both looking. 8 strikeouts on the day for Ket's pitching.
The arms have looked solid against a really tough offense. Hyannis near the top of the Cape in many offensive categories for that reason, as it's dumped into left field, a base hit for Jake Schaffner, showing off the ability of all parts of this Hyannis lineup as he's the 9-hitter.
Yeah, there's been no real cease of threat from this Harbor Hawks lineup. Plenty of guys who can hit, who know how to hit. Can also leg out those extra base hits and then power a ball or two for a home run.
We've seen 2 homers for today from Chris Renbert, who's batting cleanup. This is Matt Miura. The leadoff man, he's reached twice. Socks that high in the air, foul off to the right side, out of play. Oh, 0-1 count to him. Miura, the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior. Going into his senior season, he's from Honolulu, the capital of Hawaii. Throw back to first. And at Hawaii, a 338 batting average, 454 on base percentage, 46 walks to 20 strikeouts for Miura. Incredible eye. Runner goes. That's chopped hard towards third. Throw down is in time to retire the side for Ryan Buckler, leaving a runner on. 3-1. Last chance up for the Kettleers. They will bring up Camden Johnson, Andrew Wiggins, and Jaron Advincula up next on Cape League TV. It's the final stand for the Kettleers in this home game against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They're down 3-1 in the bottom of the ninth. Ryan Speciak out there to complete the 5-out save, 2 strikeouts to finish up the bottom of the 8th in Game 1 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. Last game of a 2-day homestand for the Kets, played Harwich yesterday. Lifted foul by Camden Johnson. Johnson is hitless today. A line out to the first baseman, an unassisted ground out to the first baseman, and a strikeout swinging for the Oklahoma commit. Oh, 1 count. Here it comes. Outside corner, a strike. Three hits for the Kets today. 6 for Hyannis. An error for each squad. Here's your 0-2. Swing and a chop foul. Back to the screen. We will do it again. So Brewster didn't end up getting no hit tonight. But YD did win 3-0. Taking down the final undefeated team in the Cape. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Johnson. Nearly called strike 3. But it was just off the plate. Close one.
Speciak walked off the mound like it was strike 3.
Reining it back in on a 1-2 count. That one just off the outside corner, as is that one. 2-2. Camden Johnson looking for his 4th hit of the summer. What a time it would be to get that. Has the lone extra base hit for the Kettleers. A double in the opener against Orleans. Check swing, no go. Full count for Johnson. No one on, no outs. Here in the bottom of the 9th. Shot on the ground towards third. Up and throwing. Over there is Velasquez in time for the first out. In comes Wiggins, a walk in all 3 plate appearances so far, and Jaron Advincula due up after him. Advincula would represent the tying run if Wiggins is to reach. Ryan Buckler did a good job to get the Kettleers to this point. Allowed a base hit in the top half of the 9th, but cleaned things up, issuing a ground ball to third to end it. The 1-0 pitch to Wiggins. Sails high. Wiggins in center field after the multiple switches in the field for the Kettleers. Speciak deals inside. And that's 3-0. Wiggins just has a knack for taking everything around the zone.
Looking for his 4th walk of the game.
The 3-0. In there, a strike. Got to stay middle on 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the 3-1. Another one in there as Wiggins didn't think so. Tossed the bat away. Started to take his gear off, but he will come back to receive his bat from the bat boy.
The most delayed strike call we have seen today.
Tell you what, a lot of them have been delayed from home plate umpire George Stransky. 3-2. Chopped on the ground towards third, gloved by Velasquez in time to first. The last hope up. Jaron Advincula after the ground out by Andrew Wiggins.
Hyannis has done a great job with 2 outs, getting runs across the plate. Time to see if Cotuit can harness that same 2-out hitting.
Jaron Advincula led the Cape League in batting average last summer. .392 was his mark. Swing and a miss on the first pitch. He's hitting at a .263 mark, taking into account his 4 plate appearances today. 0 for 3 with a walk. George Stransky having some words with, I think, somebody over in the Kettleers dugout. Or was it a fan? It's kind of by the corner. Here comes the 0-1. That knocks the catcher, Lackey, off his position.
Might have been Lauren Hibbs who's standing right up by the top step.
I'm sure he's not pleased with how things are going on. A 1-5 start in his first summer in Cotuit. And it's another game coming down to a close ending, as that's a hit on the ground to first, a flip to the pitcher for out number 3. 3-1 ball game. Hyannis over Cotuit. Cats down to 1-6 on this young season. Hyannis up to 4-2-1, extending their West Division lead. Cotuit at the bottom at 1-6. That's 5 straight down for them, Chris.
A disappointing start to the season. No other way to wrap your words around it for Cotuit. It's been a lot of close games as well, games that have, like you mentioned, came down to the wire. A lot of close run games. I mean, this one was a 2-1 ball game for the longest time. In the third, going into the third, it was a 2-1 ball game. Cotuit pitching able to keep Hyannis scoreless up until the top of the 8th, where they tacked on a third run. And the bats for Cotuit just continuing to stay a little quiet.
Quiet indeed. 3 hits for the Kets, 8 walks, but again, a lot of ground outs that have left this club where they are. And a lot of opportunities to score some more runs, thwarted by some really solid defense for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. You got to give them credit. They have a really strong infield, and behind the dish, their catcher, Vaughn Lackey, great arm, great athlete, great backstop.
I mean, momentum from the get-go seemed to be leaning towards the Harbor Hawks. And then I look back in the first inning, second batter for Cotuit of the game, Ryan Farber, fouled a ball off back behind the plate, and Vaughn Lackey with a headfirst dive out, able to catch the ball and snag it. I mean, that is just a play that will take any wind out of your sail if you're Ryan Farber or Cotuit, to just see that even when you try to lay down a bunt, it might not go your way.
Winning pitcher is Carson Jessa after 2 1/3 innings out of the pen. Walked 3 and really scared Hyannis, but he struck out 3 and got his way out of it. Losing pitcher was Reed Mooring in his first start as a Kettleer, and he looked really good. I think Mooring was a big positive in this one as the game went on. He really buckled down, 4 strikeouts after a tough first inning, allowed 2, and after that it was 3 straight zeros from the righty out of UC Santa Barbara.
When you factor in that this was his first ever time pitching for Cotuit this season, I mean, he gets out here, saw him yesterday, put on the roster officially within the past 48 hours. You could even make the argument past 24 hours. He shook off those first inning nerves. Had 2 outs, and then Rembert got a 2-run, 2-out home run to put the Harbor Hawks up by 2. And then after that, you saw that Mooring was able to really find his groove. Most importantly, I look at these third and fourth innings, back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings from Mooring, where he was able to rack up 3 of his 4 strikeouts in that time frame. So he really settled into his own towards the very end of his outing, and then the bullpen just continuing to shine again for Cotuit. The bullpen combined today, do some quick math, came in and threw 5 complete innings of work today, only allowed 1 earned run, 3 hits. Did have a bit of trouble with the, not even 5 walks to 2, 5 strikeouts to 2 walks. I mean, overall, just another solid outing from the bullpen.
I think I'd have to agree with you, Chris. Kettleers look good. Preston Kroll, 2 more scoreless innings after 4 in his first outing. That's 6 scoreless for Preston Kroll, who has been a real diamond in the rough. Come out of the pen and done some really good things. Long relief, spelling these starters, and then after that, Albanese, for the most part, looked pretty good. Couple of strikeouts, just that one blemish on the fastball center cut to Chris Rembert. He took that over the left field fence. After him, Ryan Buckler tossed a nice shutout inning. And heck, on the other end, the bullpen was nails for the Harbor Hawks, despite the walk issues. 4 issued by Carson Jessa, and Adam Troy issued 2 of his own to end it. But then Speciak, an inning and 2/3, 2 strikeouts, not a single base runner. Get all 5 outs to make that save.
I think for Cotuit, one of the big just points of focus to really build upon and look at is hitting with runners in scoring position. You look at what Cotuit's doing right now, the hits are coming. You would like to see those numbers bumped up a little bit. 4 hits in yesterday's matchup against Harwich, 3 today. So yeah, you would love more hits to go ahead and cross first base, get around. I mean, even extra base hits. But you look at the hitting with runners in scoring position, and that really seems to be a point of focus for Cotuit. Currently hitting 95, a batting average of .095 with runners in scoring position. And the Kettleers have taken 63 at-bats with runners in scoring position. So the opportunities are there.
And you just can't have that, frankly. Need some more conversion with runners on, and that's how you get the bulk of your runs. And I think in a second we'll have Coach Lauren Hibbs with our sideline reporter, Brooke Kilgore, to dissect what happened in this ball game here momentarily. Again, a 3-1 ball game. Hyannis taking the victory over the Cotuit Kettleers.
Don't think we're actually going to get that audio from the Brooke Kilgore interview with Lauren Hibbs, but you can find that online afterwards. You can hear Coach Hibbs' thoughts on this game.
And you'll hear from him every Tuesday on the Coaches Show with Lauren Hibbs, hosted by us two, Chris and I, Connor Shue. Had a real fun one last Tuesday with him. Got to talk shop about his time on Cape, among other things. I'm excited to talk to him again in a couple of days for the Kettleers. Next up, they hit the road to Bourne tomorrow for a 6 p.m. first pitch. Then their first rest day since last Wednesday. No game on Monday, and then they go to Brewster to face off against the Class of the Cape for a 5 p.m. first pitch. And then back home to face off against Chatham for the second time. Another rest day on Thursday. And then to YD to face off against the Red Sox on Friday. And then finally Bourne, a game the week later, at home. So only 2 home games for this next week. So Road Warriors, the Kets will have to be. They have not won one on the road. They have 1 win at home. 1-6 overall, losing to the now 4-2-1 Hyannis Harborhawks. Any final thoughts, Chris?
Things still ahead on the horizon for Cotuit. This is not the bats that the Kettleers normally swing. I think everyone knows that these guys can showcase better batting. Pitching has still been solid, so I think we have still been we have yet to see the Kettleers' best baseball, and I think that is the best takeaway from today's game.
Final score 3-1 Hyannis. Final line 6 hits, 1 error for the Hyannis Harborhawks with 7 left on. Cotuit 1 run on 3 hits, 1 error, 8 left on base. Your winning pitcher Carson Jasa. Losing pitcher Reed Mooring for the Kettleers. The save goes to Brian Speciak. For Chris Albright, Brooke Kilgore, Sorka Lewis, Riley Lewis, I'm Connor Shue. Signing off on Cape League TV. Have a good night, everybody.